Yo, Breezy.
What's good, bro?
49ers signing offensive linemen. They about to trade wide receivers, and they got a new influx of cash. We're going to talk about all of that and some on today's episode of No Harm, No Foul. You ready?
Let's get it.
My man Wayne Breezy is in the building. I am Mike Andrews, even though it says the opposite. Boom, there it goes right there. Wayne, man, what's going on with you, man? Long time no see. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Hanging in there, bruh. Hanging in there, bruh. You know.
Yeah. Now, you got a hoodie on, and I know we on the East Coast, but you a little further north. Over here, it felt like it was 70 degrees today. What's it like over there where you at?
It was pretty warm. The weather is definitely like warming up. Like you could tell it's about to be spring in a few weeks.
Yeah. It smelled good outside today. Like, I was out there like, okay. That northeast smog, it was hitting a little different today. You know what I'm saying? It felt a little more crisp, a little more fresh.
Yeah.
All right. So, because you got the bundled up look. Now, I know.
It's not really it's just a hoodie.
Oh, okay. All right. So, is it one of those like lightweight, like Nike joints, like the breathable? Oh, okay. All right. So then you can wear those whenever. Like, right. I be wearing those in like freaking summer. Those be hitting. They flow. They breathe. But listen, man, we got a couple of things to discuss today. We're gonna try to keep the show short and concise. We got about 3 topics that we're gonna go through. But I guess we should start with the Ben Bartch news, right? Like, this is somebody that came in and played pretty well for the 49ers. He didn't play a whole lot, but he reminds me of an old offensive lineman for the 49ers, and I bet you'll never guess who it is. But what were your thoughts on Bartch when you saw him playing, man?
I thought he potentially had a future here with the 49ers. He played. He came in. He filled in. Aaron Banks got injured. Came in, filled in, and I was like, we didn't really skip a beat. You know, we actually looked a little bit better, especially in the run game. I think that's where his strength lies in run blocking. But I mean, the kid graded well in 3 games. He looked good, especially in that, the Buffalo game was bad, but he didn't look too bad out there. The offensive line wasn't as bad as that game portrayed. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that game blew out of proportion because the defense couldn't stop anybody in the snow. Like, it was just weird. But I definitely love the signing of Ben Bartch to 1-year deal. You know how the Niners do, man. They find these guys that they could get contractually on a cheap deal. Now, he got injured and then placed on IR. So, like, that is why we didn't see much of him after, like, you know what I'm saying, he came in and looked good. So, it's good that he's going to be back. Right now, I guess you could pencil him. The competition will be between him. People are saying Nick Zakelj, but I think it's going to be between him and Spencer Burford. Burford played left guard and filled in as well. So, the competition is going to be there at, for the guard position, left guard position.
Do you think that this means that the Niners just go with who's in house and they don't draft a guard, or they don't try to sign a guard in free agency? Like, I'm seeing people talk like this is so definitive, like, oh, this is the guy, like, this is it. Or if it's not him, like you just said, it's somebody in the house. Now, you didn't say it as definitively as I've heard in other places, but people just seem to be so, like, certain, like, oh, well, he's back and we got 2 guys here that can compete for the spot, so let those guys go out there and battle it out, and then we'll be fine. Like, I just don't know if I feel that way.
I mean, I don't feel that way. This is what the Niners do. Like, they're going to fill the holes, and that way they can draft best player available with the draft. Like, they're going to go into this draft probably with, like, the holes filled. Now, they will look for talent in the draft, but their draft approach will be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of free agents, a lot of holes to fill on the San Francisco 49ers team. You know, me personally, I still feel like the weakest link on the offensive line is the center position, but bruh, we got Matt Hennessy there. I totally forgot about this guy. Here I am saying, yo, let's sign Drew Dahlman, And we probably got Drew Dalman's, who was supposed to be Drew Dalman's replacement in Atlanta, right here on this roster. Like, so there's a possibility that he will be competing. And I think that's what the Niners are trying to do, right? They're trying to have competition at every position, including quarterback.
Okay. All right. I like it, man. I do think that competition will give us the best option for multiple positions, but specifically this offensive line spot. And we also have to remember that there's no guarantee that Banks doesn't come back either. Well, let me ask you this question.
There's a guarantee. Banks is not being re-signed. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they're moving on from.
Oh, it's guaranteed.
Oh, it's guaranteed. He's
got it. I missed that one. Okay, so that's cool. So he's gone. He's
no,
done.
You didn't miss it. I'm telling you, it's guaranteed. This move right here is letting me know that it's guaranteed.
Wes was gonna say, how did he look in comparison?
Oh,
to
Banks had a
now
bad
again,
year,
it was just
man.
3 games.
Banks just had a bad year. I mean, you could chalk it up to injuries. You could chalk it up to Trent not being out there. I don't care what it is. He just didn't look good. He looked like he was on his way out, and he played like he was on his way out. Like he was ready to hang it up here and start a new chapter elsewhere. Like that's how he was playing. That was the energy I was getting from Aaron Banks. You know what I'm saying? But he just didn't progress. He just didn't look good.
That's so disappointing when you know that you're going into like a contract
Bro,
season.
I had that cat. I predicted early season prediction, how we do our stuff, our wild takes.
Mm-hmm.
I said that he would be all pro guard this year, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was just playing injured like the whole year. Like I can't imagine what it's like to play injured, because I've never played football injured before. But I know being an offensive lineman, man, those guys are out there. They're out there the majority of every snap. And so when most of them are playing injured, he was just playing injured. Now I'm not saying that that's what caused his performance to be bad, but I never thought Aaron Banks fit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the pick. I didn't understand the pick. It didn't scream outside zone. It didn't scream the zone scheme. He was a big guy, like, to come in, but you're right. It's not set in stone that he won't be back, but I just don't feel like he was a good fit here.
Okay. All right. I mean, it remains to be seen what happens. The good news is that the Niners are looking to improve. I strongly feel that way, and I think the signing of Ben Bartch is one of those, well, if this is the worst we got, it's not terrible. So I think that's a good thing there.
I mean, I feel like the Niners got 2 guys that I've really liked. They signed Austin Pleasance to his exclusive rights free agent deal, so he's got the 1-year deal. He came in and filled in for every tackle in the book, and he didn't skip a beat. Remember we brought in those 2 tackles, him and Charlie Heck, I think that was his name, and Heck was terrible, and Pleasance was the guy. I was like, oh, this is a good guy. So there's a possibility that he might end up being this year's swing tackle. If they decide to move on contractually from guys like Jalen Moore, they might not bring him back. He might have served his time. Now, I like what Jalen Moore was doing. Jalen Moore was definitely holding his own, but he got injured.
He played well until he couldn't. Yeah. He actually looked really good, actually. He was one of the guys I was probably the most down on. And I know what it was, too. I got, like, Sean Coleman vibes from Moore. I don't know if it was just like me just assuming that they're the same type. Like, and it's not that he played like him at all. I just like felt like they're forcing this swing tackle on us, and I don't like that. Like, they just kept throwing Coleman in there's a swing tackle for years, and I was like, why? Like, no, he's not it. But I shouldn't have done that. I kind of like gave that preconceived notion of who he was going to be, and Moore held his own, like you said, until he couldn't. So he was a good guy. I want to see him come back and continue to shine with the Niners, man. He could be a good player for us. You talked about losing him due to contract and all. The NFL announced that there's a lot more money to go around than what they anticipated, Wayne. Another $20 million?
Yeah, that TV money kicking in. That Amazon, that Peacock, Paramount, whatever. It's kicking in, yeah.
That jump made me so, never mind. Yeah, so it's like, this money is going to go a long way. Now, let me ask you a question. Because there's two ways to look at it. Everybody got the same bump, so nobody got a bump. Or the Niners got $20 million more to spread around. Because if we were thinking about, for example, keeping Brock Purdy or extending Brock Purdy for $50 million a year, does that mean now that we could extend him for $53 million a year, or does it mean we don't have to hesitate on that $50 million a year because we know for a fact that we got more to go around to other people and we can still bring other people? Like, how does that money? Does this just bump up everybody's contracts now that's about to sign, or does this just give the Niners more money to play with?
I think it's the second part, right? But I think the players individually know that there's more money. But the Niners, but this goes for every team though. So like
Right.
if and I know we're talking Niners, but the bump is helpful when you're trying to keep guys and you got to max out on certain guys with these contracts. You know what I'm saying? And so Brock Purdy is the perfect example. I think Brock was going to get the money regardless. His cap hits weren't going to affect the team for probably the first 2 years of the deal anyway. So not this year, not next year, not the year after. So in 2027 is probably when you would have saw his cap hit affect the San Francisco 49ers and as a big lump sum, sort of how you see them do Nick Bosa's. And this is what the Niners do. They backload these contracts, right? They give them big signing bonuses, backload the rest of the contract. And so it's not hurting the Niners against the cap so that they can continue to sign the guys that they need. I think the Niners are just going to splash in free agency. I think they're going to address certain positions in free agency that they feel will be upgrades or whatnot, and they have the means to do so. But also they'll be able to take care of some of the guys that they got, right? Like that. And don't forget, we didn't even get into the restructures, and we still got to extend Kittle. Like Kittle's going to get probably an extension for, a 2-3 year extension. So this money helps with everything in the long run. And I think, just the way I look at the cap is if the NFL continues to do well, it's going to just keep going up. So at the end of the day, you always going to have more money, and that's just the way it is.
I mean, yeah, it's looking that way, and it's not slowing down at all. I remember when the cap went up $5 million, we were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's money! Like it's money, it's money!" Like here we are looking at 20, like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what? What just happened? I think it's going to be a combination of both, right? I think that some players are going to be like, yeah, I need a little bit more, find a way to make it incentives or whatever you can do, right? But I know you got some extra money out there. And I also think that because what happens is it's like, are people going to sit here and try to tell us that we can't get guys because somebody else is going to pay them more because they got 20 million more? So that's not about the player and the organization. That's more about like them just wanting more money overall. Right, like the value.
I think the players are gonna want the max that they could get. Right, like I'm not gonna just. I mean, some players might take a discount, and some players won't. It's just the game, bro. Like, I know you got this bread. This is what I want. Like, you know what I'm saying. So, but that doesn't mean that's gonna go down that way. But the wording, the language in the contract, like there's so many ways that the Niners love to do their deals. You know what I'm saying? Niners do a lot of incentive-based deals. They do, like a lot of incentive-based deals, and that's just the way the Niners work. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't want to see Dre Greenlaw leave, but if they have a contingency plan for Dre Greenlaw and it works, I'm good. I'm for it. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm about that life. But there's a couple of players that you could go out there that are free agents that you could try to get. I mean, you got the rumor of the Zach Bond. I like the kid from the Jets, Damian Sherwood. I don't want to lose the tackling. And I feel like the Niners at that position, the tackling is missed tackles are a huge deal. You didn't really have a lot of those missed tackles Dre Greenlaw is on the football field. So I would go out there, if I'm the 49ers, and this is not a shot, because I love me some Dre Greenlaw, I just look for a healthier option that I could depend on.
That's
the
tough.
money that you're talking about gives them bread to possibly offer Dre Greenlaw a little better incentive-based deal. You know what I mean? Because his deal will be incentive-based with the Niners. Might not be incentive-based with everybody else. Dre Greenlaw suffered 2 major injuries with the 49ers.
Right. Well, so he could actually sign a little bit of both, right? Like he could sign a deal that has a lot of incentives, but it could also be one where the incentives go away and turn into base salary if he's healthy or something. You know what I mean? Like they can do a lot with these contracts, man. They could do a whole lot with these contracts.
All in the language, bro. All in the language.
You talk about a contingency plan for Dre Greenlaw. I mean, if they got one of them somewhere and they just been sitting on it, like what the hell are they waiting for?
I'm just saying there's a couple of players out there that are available free agent wise that could come in that would give you the production you need. They might not be Dre Greenlaw. They might not have that Dre Greenlaw effect, but they won't miss tackles. I mean, give me a tackler. Like first and foremost, give me a guy that I know is going to be on a play, that's going to play with some energy, that's not going to miss a lot of tackles. I mean, that's the Niners. That was the Niners defense in 2024, missing tackles.
Talk about, man. You know what? Where's my booing sound? Play the boo. I got a boo. Here it is.
You just booed me because I said you missed it.
No. I'm booing that defense. You dropped the bomb on them. I should have done the bomb for you.
Yeah.
But I'm booing that damn defense because the missed tackles was putrid, man. Like, oh, it was terrible. Okay, let's go ahead and get to it. We are halfway through here, man. I think the Niners can do a lot with the extra cap space, and I'm excited about that. But we might as well go ahead and talk about this, Wayne. This has been the talking point all day. All shows are going live right now, talking about the same exact thing. And someone, I'm not going to say no names, has reported that the 49ers are getting calls about Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah.
That there are teams interested in trading for Brandon Aiyuk, even today, with his current unknown health status. This is a lot to discuss. I don't know how deep you want to get into this, Wayne, but
look,
what kind of...
I mean, it's a few ways you could look at this. I feel like calls go down, period. I mean, John Lynch always say that they field calls, right? I just want to know what teams would be interested in just an injured player. Like I'm trying to figure it out because that doesn't really make sense. Now unless they're it doesn't make sense for teams to want somebody that hasn't, that's probably not going to play the majority of 2025, that hasn't cleared any physicals, any medicals, any of that type of stuff. He's still recovering from all the knee injuries that he suffered on that one play. And I just don't know what stupid teams are willing to trade any type of draft capital for a guy like Brandon Aiyuk. Now, I mean, let me be honest. If there was a team that was going to give me a round pick, I mean, and they wanted to take on, we didn't even talk about taking on his contract. Like, that's a whole nother thing.
So we haven't talked about what it would cost the Niners if he were to get traded, right? Like we go into the 2025 season,
money, right?
His dead cap is almost $40 million. It's 39.25. Like, what are we talking about?
That's higher than Deebo Samuel's dead cap, and everybody was crying about that. Now, but there's ways to work around that, Mike. So you're not hearing what I'm saying. There's ways to work around that. They can have teams pay certain, because the dead cap money goes to the what? Where does the dead cap money go? To the league? Go somewhere. It don't go to a player or anything. It's just like Monopoly money sitting under free parking or some bull crap like that. Like, but at the end of the day, like it's a fine. Like the Niners would pay a fine. So that's why I said I think it goes to the league. That's what that dead cap is. At the end of the day, like I just don't feel like the Niners want to put themselves in that predicament. But if there's teams willing to give up first round picks and to pay into this dead cap to pay some of that bill, I think I would move on from Brandon Aiyuk.
Okay, so yeah. Now
it's got to be an offer you can't refuse.
That's kind of stating the obvious, though, right? But like the thing is, no one's going to be willing to do both of those things.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No one's going to be willing to take on that salary
and give you
an injured player and a good draft pick.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes any sense. So
are we calling BS on this report?
BS on BA? Absolutely.
Oh, Oh, Wayne, I love you, man. Now I'm gonna say, I love you, man, because this is just
it's like I mean, people get mad. People talk about people doing stuff for clicks and likes and all that crap. This is clearly that.
yes.
Now,
Yes.
if I pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, Mike, how's Brandon Aiyuk doing?"
He's I mean, he's walking. He's out of a boot. He's out and about, but he's
driving
not
his
doing
car.
anything.
Yeah,
He's
getting pulled over
with no tags and stuff. Yeah, but he not legal trouble, but almost. And then but he's not in football shape. If that's
but that, you know what I just did? I just called you and asked you about Brandon Aiyuk.
But you didn't call and say that you were interested in trading for him. You just asked how he was doing.
No, I just called and
So,
asked
for example,
about Brandon Aiyuk. But the way to me, that's how it should have been worded. Teams are calling and asking about Brandon Aiyuk.
Not that teams are still interested in trading.
Now, however you choose to take what I just said and run with it, that's on you. But if she was smart, that's how she should have worded it, and it would have been dope. Because now she's not being held accountable for saying anything wrong.
And let the masses assume what they want.
Bingo. You gotta have some foreshadowing and wordplay in your writing at this point. This is she clearly don't listen to Jay-Z.
Here's the thing that got me the most, right? Because I even like that, right? This is the week that the little rumors are going to start coming out. That
Absolutely.
This person said that because all the GMs, some coaches are out there right now, right? They all talking to each other. And to be fair, the tweet that I saw said that teams are poking around Brandon Aiyuk. It didn't say teams are calling for trading. It said poking around Brandon Aiyuk. So
there is a chance. There's always a chance. But I'm not saying. Look, and if it does happen,
now watch this. Watch this. I'm John Lynch. You're the Browns. Guys, listen, we need to get Myles Garrett from you guys. I'll give you this pick, this pick, this pick. You guys need a receiver. We got a receiver for sale. I need you to counter and ask about Aiyuk.
Yeah, this is where you put Aiyuk into that trade.
No, I need you to ask about Aiyuk.
How's Aiyuk?
He's still injured, man. I wouldn't even try to do that to you guys. But we got Debo. We have. No, we want.
I would want Aiyuk. They're a team that's not going to compete this year. They're a team rebuilding. They get a number one wide receiver, and make that needle move.
So you guys have you're understanding that this is going to be a throwaway season for you guys. So you have time to let him heal up and get healthy.
Of course, that's a nice scenario.
So what are we talking about as compensation? What does this take off of the Myles Garrett?
We would have to give them more.
What's the value? No, of course we're not. It's not going to be player for player.
Yeah.
But if we called and said we're going to offer you a first and a fourth for Garrett, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe.
I'm still trying to figure out how this dead money work though, because that's still a hit.
It's going to be bad.
That's $40 million.
Bad. Yeah,
you can't trade Brandon Aiyuk right now, unless there's a team. If I gave you compensation, if I gave you a 4th round pick, if a team
cash
offered
considerations,
is
that an NBA thing?
But, no, it could happen. If the team offered a 4th round pick and to take on some of that dead money, would that be a good trade?
If a team, say that again. If a team offered what?
Let's say a team says, "Hey, we'll give you a 4th round pick." And contingency, if Brandon Aiyuk does such and such and such by such and such time, it could be a 3rd round pick.
Okay.
And we'll eat some of that dead cap, if they can.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be a great trade?
I don't think a 4th. I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think so.
It's taking on the dead cap. It's less money the Niners have to pay. You get a 4th that could potentially be a 3rd, right? I'm just asking. I'm not saying it's good or not. Just asking.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a lot of money. If they were willing to take on 90% of that dead cap and give you a 4th round pick, you wouldn't do that?
I don't think I would. You would?
What's 90% of 40 million, bro?
90. All right. So okay, but you still talking like that's all right. So we're not going to be
36
million.
Yeah, so we're not going to be so that's 4 million a bill that the Niners would have to pay, plus they get a 4th round pick that they can possibly flip.
You would let go of Brandon Aiyuk for a 4th round pick?
It's not the pick, it's the money tied into it,
space.
right? Yeah, I think that's what you're first of all, you're freeing up your cap space. You can draft another wide receiver. You could use that pick to kind of move back up and get a top 100 player. You see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe. I think that there's a lot left in the tank for
if he clears,
Brandon Aiyuk.
If Brandon Aiyuk clears the physicals of the teams, he can be traded. Yes. If he doesn't clear the physical of the team, no, he can't be traded. He has to clear the team's physical, not our physical. Because we could be like, yeah, he good. We've seen this happen. So if he was now listen, I do not want to move on from Brandon Aiyuk. It just sucks that he's going to be recovering the majority of the season. So we won't see him this season. I can tell you that right now. We might see him sometime December, but
we'll see.
What's going to be crazy is the team makes this offer, we decline it. Ricky Pearsall has a phenomenal season, and then it's like, damn,
we didn't really need him. But see, here's the crazy thing, right? The reports are Debo wants out. Somebody's calling about Aiyuk. You can't get rid of both of them. You can't, and you're going to be left with what? Pearsall, Jennings, Cowing, rookie.
I mean, he's not a rookie. He'll be a second-year player.
No, I'm saying Cowing and a rookie.
Cowing and a rookie. I mean,
yeah.
Debo looked good his rookie year, and we ain't have no receivers. It all depends on who the Niners draft, man. Like Brandon Aiyuk had a banging ass rookie year. Debo was hurt. I remember, these rookies can't eat in Kyle Shanahan's offense if they're featured. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to move on from Brandon Aiyuk. I'm just playing if teams are calling, I'm curious to know what in the hell are they willing to give up to get Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah.
This should have happened last year, but it didn't.
Right, and that's the other thing. So it didn't happen when he was healthy, and you could have controlled all the money and all that stuff. But now that he's injured, you want to okay, BS. No, that's it. No, it's fake.
I can tell you this though, Brandon Aiyuk is better than any of the receivers coming out of this draft.
Okay, I can see that. I'm not even mad at that take.
So teams might be looking at it, and from that perspective, especially teams that are going to be retooling, reloading, rebuilding, and stuff like that, they're going to have a guy. And I mean, if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I wouldn't want to go to Cleveland. I just feel like going to Cleveland is where you die. Like
dumb, right?
That is just for some reason the New York Jets, the Cleveland Browns, those are just and it was the Raiders for a minute, but I think under the tutelage of Pete Carroll, they might just be,
right.
All right.
Well, we're gonna have to see what's happening, man. I don't quite.
But
know
I do
how
not
it's gonna play
want
out.
to trade Brandon Aiyuk. Let me just make that clear. I'm just playing. I'm just having fun in the game.
We're playing along with the
since teams are
rumor
poking.
Reports. Yes, there you go. They're poking around.
Hokey playing hokey pokey.
Can you see like that? Man, it pissed me off so much. Teams are still poking around Brandon Aiyuk. They weren't poking around him when he was available. Like, stop it. Like, stop. They just turned his knee.
No.
They needed the jaws of life to fix his knee, and now all of a sudden they're poking around him.
But the reason why, because the draft, last year's draft was wide receiver heavy. Like last year's draft, this year's draft, it's probably, it's probably 10 receivers that's gonna make in this league.
It's some solid. You know
it's
what?
10 receivers that's gonna make it in this league from this draft.
20 seconds left. Tell me how many elite players are in this draft in your mind. Elite, like day one. These guys are going to be Pro Bowlers and
four.
Just three. Four.
Maybe 5.
Who are they?
5. I'll go with 5.
Okay. All right, we'll go over who they are later on, because I need to know for our draft show tomorrow. So, because I got if one of them fall to me,
you know the first three. Like the first three is Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham. Those are the top three. Like those are the three day one starters. But then there's Ashton Jeanty. Like that, whoever he go. If the Los Angeles Chargers gets an Ashton Jeanty, if Jim Harbaugh gets that running back. Like that can't happen. There's no way he falls to 22, right? Like
you think a running back gonna go that high? When's the last time a running back went that high?
That's not high. 22?
No. I'm saying, all right, even 22. When's the last time a running back went that high?
Jahmyr Gibbs went high. Bijan Robinson was 5. Ashton Jeanty's in those boats. Right. Yeah. But my point, those are 4 players, and then you could crapshoot. You could go Mike Green, who I think is just the best edge rusher in the draft, next to Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter only played 1 year as an edge rusher, to be fair, but that year was dominant as a motherfucker. Though. Like that guy's gonna be a problem, depending on how he's used for sure. But yeah, you can go Mike Green. You can go. I really like the linebacker out of freaking.
Jonathan Brooks. That's who it was this year.
I really like the linebacker. He's not even gonna play this year. I really like the linebacker out of Alabama, Jahad Campbell. I feel like he could be a top player in the league. Everybody's screaming Jalen Walker. I don't know if people don't watch Alabama anymore because the coaching is different. The gameplay is just a different vibe. Mm-hmm. But Campbell from Alabama, oh shit. I mean, shoot, that's my number 1 linebacker, bro. So he would be my 5th player. Yeah.
Is he Dre Greenlaw?
Nah, he different. He the same
type of linebacker.
Nope, weak side, but can blitz. How you play off ball better than Dre Greenlaw, but can cover like Dre Greenlaw and doesn't miss tackles. So like depends on you know what I mean. And
so
as a leader,
but it sounds like he can go to any team. Then it sounds like he can go to any team and really get busy.
I'm hoping he falls 2nd round, but I know he's not because his stock after the combine is a wrap.
All right.
Okay.
Well, listen, man. Thanks for hanging around today, man. Wayne, I really do appreciate it.
You got a question out there. Is there a chance that Benjamin Morris slips into the 2nd round? Tell you what, we'll be doing our mock draft show tomorrow. You can check us out tomorrow. We'll answer some questions. Leave them in the comment section of the show. Yes, Benjamin Morrison is going to slip. I don't think his medicals are going to be.
Well, medicals are getting everybody, man. My guy Elijah Arroyo, like he ain't even going to be doing this stuff at the combine. That's my tight end.
A lot of guys are going to really. You know what? You know what's happening? These freaking pro days, like. Cats just like being at home in the controlled area that they can control, and they're going to ball out. Look at all the players. Abdul Carter's not performing. He's coming up. They use them coming off of these injuries. Now, if it was a guy like Josh Simmons, who we know was injured,
right,
we could get it. But nah, man. It's all good, though. Like, just be ready for their pro days. That's all. If they don't do their pro days, then that's when you have to worry. But I think Benjamin Morrison is going to slip to the 2nd round.
I didn't look at the chat the whole time, and that's what I see now. Mike, what's your 40 time?
What you should try that.
40 in, Wayne?
Nah, it's probably like 5 something. I feel like I'm faster than that. Low 5s. I think I could get
5.5. I think 5.5 the goal.
I think I could get in the 4s though. I feel like I could get into the 4s, like 4.9, 4.8.
Wayne tripping.
I feel like I could get to a 4.9.
Y'all can write me down for a 5.8 right now. Y'all can write me down for a 5.8.
I feel like I'm between a 4.8 and a 5.2.
All right.
That's a long ass run too.
We should do our own combine.
Did you ever go to the? Have you been on the track and did the 4, bro?
Yes.
First of all, I don't even know if I could only run it once. Right? I'm not gonna pull no hamstring. I can tell you right now. Listen, I'm physically fit. Don't get it twisted. I run every day, but I don't run speed like
long
that.
Distance sprint. Yeah.
No, I run long distance more, like cross country. I'm not running.
You don't do the sprint. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Negro. I'll be. My knees will pop out my knees. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I hit that track one run. First, you got to get the right shoes. You know what I mean? And so,
Yo.
what are you guys measuring? The 40-yard distance? How fast you can run a 40-yard dash, which is the most watched televised event at the NFL Combine. I wouldn't need an inhaler. Listen, I'm very fit. I'm physically fit. I'm more fit than people know. Like my stamina is crazy, but just because I work out every day.
I think my straight line speed is pretty good. However, my legs don't go as fast as my brain thinks they should.
That's a long run. Like I'm
super flat footed.
Oh, we both are though. You gotta have the right shoes.
See.
That's why I said you gotta have the right shoes. Yeah. No, I'm not going to the combine. I didn't get my credential. I didn't get credentialed, so I'm gotta work on that for next year. All right, Mike. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, man, we're going to get up out of here. And then, again, guys, make sure you guys are locked and loaded. Make sure you guys are tuned in to the Wayne Breezy Network. We are going to be on there live tomorrow to bust down the mock draft for the BAM show. All right, but right now, this is going to do it for us here on No Harm, No Foul. Wayne, you ready to go?
Let's go.
No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul. Peace.